Hello, good morning and welcome into Karen's kitchen once again. And today I've got a very quick spaghetti recipe, and it's doubling up for a pizza topping because it's basically it's a puttanesca. Now, I set the quiz questions last week in the food and drink round for our Zoom quiz. And I said, what's a puttanesca? And nobody got it right. So I thought, well, I'm going to do a video. Puttanesca, it's Italian, and the word means it's basically a horse pasta, a tart's pasta. In Greece, the word would be puttana, and in Italy it's putta. So traditionally, it's a little bit naughty. It's that fast, this pasta dish, that the ladies that were working in the night when they were starving hungry used to be able to pop home and make this quickly between jobs. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to do the sauce, which translates into a pizza topping as well. And on another video, I'll concoct the puttanesca pizza, which is delicious. Now, puttanescas normally have in them anchovies and capers, none of which I could find in our farm shop yesterday. Who'd thought they'd have a run on capers? I know. But anyway, I looked things up and I've not put anything into for the anchovies apart from the salt, you see, so I've put in some thyme because the nearest you can get, I think, to capers, I think it is, yeah, capers, is some thyme, and I've got dried thyme, no fresh in again. But I've got some made earlier already, and it's quite delicious. So let's get on with it. We need a hot frying pan and some oil in there to start off with the onions. So I've got 2 small or 1 large chopped up white onions, and that's the first thing that goes in, as usual in my recipes. It's fairly standard, isn't it? Yeah, so that's going to go into there to start that little process of sweating down. What I'm going to do with this is, I'm not going to stand here for the 10 minutes it takes for the sauce to cook up and become very thick and luscious. I thought I'd just make one earlier so I can show you, because I'm going to make pasta, and then, like I say, the other sauce will keep nicely in the fridge in a sealed jar till I want to do the pizza. So that's it. So anyway, how's lockdown getting on? We are actually out of lockdown-ish. This is the first week we've had some concessions, and we can go out as much as we like as long as we keep socially distancing, and we can meet 1 person outside of your family bubble, your unit that you live with, in a public place like a park. So I think on Saturday I'm going to meet my mum and have a socially distanced walk into the local park, because that'll be really nice, because I think the weather's good. So so it's stay alert now. Stay alert. Don't get complacent, I think that means. Just watch out. Anyway, so this is sizzling up in this electric wok I have here. And the next thing to go in is some garlic, which I have used 3 cloves, but garlic to suit. This is a very powerful recipe. It's very strong flavours, so I think you can go for it. Sometimes, you know, I use the word like subtle. Well, this isn't one of them. This is strong. So that's in. And the thing is about puttanesca, it involves black olives. It gives that dirtiness, that earthy. So what I've got is, I've got 2 types of olives, just because that's what I had. I had some of those quite cheap ones that you get in the supermarkets in a jar with brine, which are not the best for eating as such, but they're quite fine to fry off in here. So I've got a handful, I've got a ramekin full of chopped up cheap olives into there. Sizzle. Lovely. Smelly vision. Lovely. So you need some chilli flakes to taste. But like I say, if you can stand it, it calls for some oomph with this. So I'm going to put a good teaspoon in mine. And you know I said about the capers being missing, but I'm using some dried thyme to try to emulate that a little bit. Here it goes. Lovely. Then I've got a whole tin of chopped tomatoes, old favourites. In you go. So what the objective here is to bubble these down, the tomatoes, so it becomes the consistency that you would put on a pizza really. I'm going to salt and pepper it to taste. It can take salt, this dish, if you can. And I've got about a tablespoonful of puree. In that goes. We're nearly there. And this is obviously not an essential part of this dish, but I like to put some red wine in my tomato bases. So I have. And it boils the alcohol off, but leaves a lovely. So I've just put half a glass on more. Too early in the day for a drink, even for me. So we're just going to give that a stir around. And that is as far as I would go with this. Now I'll show you where we're at. So that's it. Okay. Now I'll just move that to one side a bit. And bring across the finished item. See how thick it is? So that would be what you would put on top of your pizza base before you trim it with your cheese and anything else you want. Okay, so it's also the base for this pasta. So I've got some spaghetti here that I've cooked. So this is just cooked off the spaghetti. And what's going to happen here is simply adding some of the cooked spaghetti into there. A little bit more than I need. Just pop that to one side. And I'm just going to lift it. Can you see? I'll move it back. Lift it through. If you feel that the sauce is too thick, you can loosen it with a bit of water, a bit of wine or a bit of oil. I think it's alright. So I am going to drizzle some extra virgin on it, just as a finishing. You can put a squeeze of lemon through it if you've got one handy at the end as well. And I'm going to put it into a nice serving dish. Just like that. And I'll get all the nice bits in there. Lovely. Now, just before we're done with this, I'm going to turn that off. I've got some really delicious olives now. These are fresh from the deli. They're quite expensive. The Kalamata, these are Greek actually. They are really lovely. Moist, plump and salty. And that's the thing we need for the puttanesca. So I'm just going to put some of those now. Just go mad. On there. Oh, into there, and I will, at this point, sorry, I should have forgotten, and it's only optional, but I did put a bit of fresh basil through it, just snip that down, and then onto the finished serving plate, let's rip up some basil. And there we have the finished pasta dish. It's optionals now whether you put any parmesan on it, and I've got some really beautiful grated mozzarella which I'll probably put on it, but that is not necessary. That is my take on puttanesca pasta. And like I said earlier, I shall save this sauce and make that into a beautiful homemade pizza, which I will do a video of soon. So, in the words of the Italian, ciao! Thank you for watching.